Hi everyone, welcome to the next session for design and drawing of reinforced concrete structures. In last class, we have discussed about the analysis of flanged beam. In analysis of flanged beam, we have discussed about the how moment of resistance we are calculating when the depth of the neutral axis lies within the flange. For that analysis, we have discussed the same analysis procedure what you are discussed for the singly reinforced beam design. That same procedure we are developed for the condition for T beam also, that is nothing but a flanged beam. When depth of neutral axis lies within the flange, that means if the neutral axis lies within the flange, how the analysis we should have done, that we are discussed. Case 2 we are having when depth of neutral axis is lies within the web portion. That means already we have discussed, this is the one type of T beam. Here this is the flanged portion of the member, and this is the web portion. This web portion also will name it as the rib, and this width of the rib or web we are naming it as dw. And this is from top of the compression fiber to the centroidal distance of the steel bar we are taking. This is a effective depth. That effective depth is small d. And again, from top of the compression fiber to the bottom surface of the concrete, we are taking it as a total depth or gross depth of the beam. If you see here, our present condition is when neutral axis is in a web portion. When neutral axis is in a web portion, that means the neutral axis is lying in this web portion. In that condition, how the total compressive force will change, how the total tensile force will change, and how the moment capacity of this action will be vary from when the neutral axis is in the flange compared to the when the neutral axis is in the web portion. Okay, if you see here, this is the stress block parameter for based on assumptions of limit state of collapse under flexural condition. We have discussed the various type of assumptions. The same assumptions we are considering here. If you see here, this is the neutral axis. From neutral axis up to the strain of 0.002, the curve is parabolic. And again, from strain of 0.002 strain of 0.003 for this stress of 0.446 FCK, the stress block is rectangular, and the stress block rectangular having a width of 3 by 7 of XU, where XU is the depth of the neutral axis. Neutral axis, it is the axis which divides the total compressive force and the total tensile force. That means from this axis to above, all this portion will take care by the concrete. That is, the compressive force will be taken by the concrete, and below this neutral axis, the tension will take care by the steel bars we are providing in the bottom of the member. If you come to this diagram, this is the total depth of the neutral axis, and where here df is the depth of the flange. If you observe in this condition, by seeing diagram itself, we can say that xu is greater than df. That means what is meant by xu? Xu is the depth of the neutral axis. This depth of the neutral axis is greater than the depth of the flange. For this, depth of the flange will be less than equal to the neutral axis depth. Again, if you see here, the neutral axis depth having a width of 3 by 7 of xu, and a parabolic portion having a width of 4 by 7 of xu. And again, if you see here, our present condition is when the flange is uniformly stressed. That means due to application of the load, the stresses what we are getting here, it will be uniformly stressed up to this flange portion. For this flange portion, for this stress, the stresses are developing within the flange portion. For this condition, how we should have to analyze the compressive force, total tensile forces, that we will discuss. And if you see here, this T beam, first we are dividing into two parts. That means when moment of resistance of the section is not capable to resist the external load, in that situation we will provide some extra reinforcement bars. That additional extra reinforcement bars also how we are providing for the doubly reinforced beam design. as well as T beams. Now we are discussing here. See, this is the first web portion I am taking here. I am considering it is as a other one type of regular rectangular beam, that is maybe limiting moment capacity of the beam, that is nothing but limiting moment carrying capacity of the section as singly reinforced beam. That singly reinforced beam, same beam I am considering here. I am taking this area of the steel bars here, and this is the concrete portion. Here I am providing concrete as well as I am providing the area of the steel bars in the section. If you see here, this is the limiting moment of the section, mu limit, where mu limit is the limiting moment of the section. For this limiting moment of the section, again here we are having the flange portion. This flange portion also, it resists the some amount of load acting on the beam. In flange beam, already we have to discuss about flanged beam is nothing but when beam and slab act as together and to take the load, that type of beams we are calling it as a flanged beams. Flanged beam means beam and slabs are constructing together. Due to monolithic construction, the load will take care by the some portion of the slab as well as the load will take care by the some portion of the beam. If you see here our present condition, in this present condition, first we are taking this the rectangular beam portion. That means this is the web portion from top of the beam to the bottom of the beam. We are taking this normal beam, that is nothing but your regular concrete beam. Already we have discussed for the singly reinforced beam design. This is the normal concrete beam. For this normal concrete beam, how this total compressive force are coming, how the total tangential force are coming, and what is the moment capacity of the section. For this condition we should have to discuss. Next, if you come to the second condition, in second condition, neglect this web portion, the remaining portion, how much amount of load is acting on the beam and how the web portion, how the flange portion will resist the load, that we have to calculate for this present condition. Again, if you see here, when neutral axis is web portion, xu greater than df. In this condition, again we have two more condition. After completely explanation of this diagram, I will explain how this 3/7 of xu is completely stressed within the diagram, as well as the lateral parabolic portion also, how it will be uniformly stressed in this diagram, I will explain. Again, if you see here, this is the second diagram, that is nothing but, if you consider this is as a figure 1 and this is as a figure 2. Figure 1 is your regular singly reinforced beam section. For this we will calculate total compressive force, total tangential force, moment of resistance of the section, lever arm, R will calculate for this section. Again, for this flange portion also we should have to calculate the resistance of the section. If you see here, this is your total, if you see here, this is the your total section of the beam. For this total section of the beam, we are having the two flanges. That is nothing but this is the one flange and this is the second flange, and the distance what we are having here, that is the width of the web bw. If you see in this diagram, this is the one flange portion and this is the one flange portion. If you want to calculate this flange portion and this flange portion, how you will get means, you will get nothing but total width of the flange bf minus total width of the flange bf minus this is the width of the web bw, that is bw divided by 2. This is 1/2. Again we are having this side also, how this half width also can calculate means, where bf minus bw divided by 2. This half portion, if you get half you will get 1, that is bf minus bw. This is the total width of the flange bf minus bw when regular web portion. After calculation of the beam, we are having the remaining portion is that much. Okay, if you see here, this is the one flange portion, this is the second flange portion. Total we are having the flange width of bf minus bw. Again, if you see here, I have drawn here one imaginary line diagram. This imaginary line diagram is nothing but the concrete portion. In this diagram, we are not providing any concrete. We are providing some additional steel bars to resist the additional load acting on the beam for the flanged beam. If you combine this figure 1 and figure 2, you will get the total T beam. For this, we should have to calculate the total compressive force, total tensile force, as well as moment of resistance capacity of the section, as well as moment of capacity of resistance for the tension. In case 2, we are having one more condition, that is when the stress block is uniformly stressed. Uniformly stressed means, suppose if you consider here, this is your rectangular portion. In this rectangular portion, this is our regular concrete block. In this concrete block, the stresses are getting up to this portion only. That means in flanged portion, when neutral axis lies in web portion, the stress block is uniformly stressed. The uniformly stressed block is having only rectangular portion. That means this parabolic portion is not coming to this particular condition. For this, we will calculate first total compressive force and total tensile force. Next, we will calculate the total compressive force and total tensile force when the flange portion is not uniformly stressed. Uniformly stressed means for this regular rectangular beam, we are having only the rectangular portion stress. That means this much amount of stress only acting in the flange. That means only rectangular portion is stressing, whereas not uniformly stressed. In this condition, some amount of parabolic portion also will come into the flange, that will give the some amount of strain on the beam. For that, we have to calculate the amount of steel reinforcement acting for that particular beam. Okay, now we will see the how the total compressive force and how this total tensile force are acting on the beam. This is the diagram, figure 1 and figure 2. For this both diagrams, we will calculate the total compressive force and total tensile force. The total compressive force and total tensile force, how we are calculating, that we will discuss. Now we will calculate the total compressive force and total tensile force for both these conditions, figure 1 and figure 2. Figure 1 is nothing but regular concrete beam of singly reinforced beam. For that, first we have to calculate the total compressive force, total tensile force, moment of resistance, lever arm. Next we will calculate for the figure 2. Again, if you see here in figure 2, this is the concrete block. In this concrete block, we are having the stresses acting on the concrete. The stresses are acting on the concrete, nothing but we are having the stresses of 0.446 FCK. This is the compressive forces or compressive stresses acting on the beam. Force is nothing but stress into area. This stress, how you will get force means, this is the stress and this is the width and this is the depth and this is the width. Force equal to stress into area. If you calculate the stress into area, you will get the force of that particular flanged beam. Okay, from this I am calculating the total compressive force and total tensile forces from figure 1 and from figure 2. From figure 1, if you want to calculate, we know the total compressive force is nothing but C equal to 0.36 into FCK into BW into XU. If you see here, this is the web portion for our regular rectangular T-beam. That means in T-beam, we are considered that this is the flange portion and this is the web portion. Now, in our present condition, our neutral axis lies in the web portion. Neutral axis lies in the web portion. Hence, we have to take the width of the web. When neutral axis lies within the flange portion, that means in the flange portion, when neutral axis is there, in that condition, you should have to take this width of the flange. But in our present condition, neutral axis is in the web portion. Hence, why we should have to calculate the 0.36 into FCK into BW into XU. This is the total compressive force acting on the rectangular beam. Again, if you see here, this is the total tensile force. Already how much amount of total tensile force is acting on the beam, that we know. That is nothing but 0.87 into Fy into AST into 1. Here we are having some number of bars. For that area of the diameter of the bar as well as number of bars, by calculating you will get the total area of the steel. From this regular diagram, total compressive force acting on this particular rectangular beam already we know, that is nothing but if you draw the singly reinforced beam stress strain diagram, that means stress and strain as well as stress block parameter, by calculating the neutral axis depth x1 and x2 as well as compressive forces c1 and c2, you will get the total compressive force as C equal to 0.36 into FCK into BW into x1. This is the total compressive force for this regular rectangular beam. This is our limiting moment capacity of this section. For this limiting moment capacity of this section, we are having the total compressive force for this figure 1. Hence, we are writing as C1 equal to 0.36 into FCK into BW into XU. Again, we are having the total tangential force as T2. The total tangential force as T2 we are having nothing but T2 equal to 0.87 into Fy into AST. 0.87 into Fy into AST. This is the T1 and this is the compressive force acting on the beam C1. C1 equal to 0.36 into FCK into BW into XU. This is the total compressive force and this is the total tangential force. As well as we are having the lever arm distance. That lever arm distance is nothing but the distance between these two resultant of the total compressive force and total tangential force. That lever arm distance already that is nothing but D minus 0.42 into XU. This is the lever arm calculation. Already we have seen our singly reinforced beam design and doubly reinforced beam design. From this we are calculating the level arm 1. That is level arm 1 equal to D minus 0.42 into XU. This is the total compressive force and this is the total tangential force and this is the lever arm 1. From this we will calculate the moment of resistance for the compression as well as moment of resistance for the tension. Now I am writing here moment of resistance for compression 1 equal to nothing but moment of resistance is nothing but the force into perpendicular distance. C1 is the force and lever arm 1 is the perpendicular distance. That means moment of resistance C1 equal to, we are having the total compressive force C1 into lever arm distance as LA1. Total compressive force we are having 0.36 into FCK into BW into XU. Okay, this is the total compressive force 0.36 into FCK into BW into XU, where XU is the depth of the neutral axis, into lever arm we are having the distance of D minus 0.42 into XU. This is the calculation for moment of resistance for the compression of this particular rectangular beam. For this rectangular beam, as well as we will calculate the moment of resistance in the tension for the same rectangular beam. That is nothing but moment of resistance T1 equal to, that is nothing but moment of resistance in tension zone equal to nothing but total tangential force into level arm A1. Again total tangential force we are having the value of 0.87 into Fy into AST1. This is the total tangential force for this regular rectangular beam. T1 equal to 0.87 into Fy into AST1. And the lever arm distance already we have calculated, that is nothing but D minus 0.42 into XU. That is nothing but D minus 0.42 into XU. This is the total compressive force calculation, total tangential force calculation, moment of resistance for the compression of regular rectangular beam, moment of resistance for the tension for the regular rectangular beam from this figure 1. Next we will calculate the moment of resistance for this particular flange portion. Again if you see here, this is the depth of the flange and BF minus BW, this is the width of the flange, and 0.446 into FCK. This is the total compressive stress acting on the total stress acting on the block. From this we will calculate the how much total compressive force acting on the beam. Again, if you see here from figure number 2, figure number 2, we are having again total compressive force in the flange portion C2 equal to compressive force is nothing but stress into area. Stress here we are having 0.446 into FCK. This is the concrete portion. In flange portion we are having the concrete. In concrete 0.446 FCK. This is the stress acting on the block. That is nothing but 0.446 FCK into, this is the stress acting on the block. Stress into area. What is, how the area will get means BF minus DW. This is the width of the beam and DF is the depth of the beam. For this rectangular portion, nothing but the area equal to length into breadth or width into depth. That means 0.446 into FCK into BF minus BW. BF minus BW. That means total width of the flange minus width of the web. If you neglect this width of the web, you will get this total flange width. The total flange width equal to BF minus BW into, we are having the depth of the flange into DF, where DF is the depth of the flange. This is the total compressive force acting on the beam. Okay, acting on the beam in the flange portion. The total compressive force acting for this flange equal to stress into area. Stress acting on the concrete flange portion equal to 0.446 into FCK, where DF is the depth of the flange, BF minus BW is the width of the flange. This is the area and this is the stress. Stress into area is nothing but force. Next we are having the total tangential force. The total tangential force T2 equal to, here this is the one more steel bar we are having. For this we have to calculate the total tangential force T2. Again the T2 total tangential force T2 equal to 0.87 into Fy into AST into 2. Fy into AST into 2. Next we should have to calculate the lever arm 2. Lever arm 2 is nothing but again the distance between the resultant compressive force and the resultant tangential force. If you see here, from this is the distance, if you see here, this is the distance acting on this lever arm, and again if you see here, this compressive force acting on the flange portion at a depth of df by 2. Rectangular we are having centroidal distance in middle, hence this is the depth of the flange. The total compressive force acting at a depth of df by 2. From the top of the flange to the centroidal distance of the beam, we are having the effective depth. That effective depth is nothing but d minus this df by 2. df by 2. This is the lever arm distance. Again one more time I am repeating this. For this flange portion, we should have to calculate the compressive forces. That compressive force equal to stress into area of this flange portion. The stress acting on the concrete is 0.446 into FCK stress, and if you want to calculate the area, df into where width of the flange BF. This web portion we should have to neglect, otherwise directly you can substitute the BF, but already we have calculated this BW portion, hence we should have to neglect this BW portion. We should have to subtract the BW of the width. From this we are having the total compressive force equal to 0.446 into FCK into BF minus BW into DF. Okay, from this we have to calculate the total compressive force C2, that is acting at a centroidal distance of half of this flanged portion. Here this is the total depth of the beam DF. From this at the half distance, this total compressive force is acting. Again we know the total tangential force. The total tangential force we are having as T2. From this the lever arm distance having a distance of d minus df by 2. d minus df by 2. This is the lever arm acting on the beam. That lever arm 2 A2 equal to, we are having the value as d minus df by 2, where d is the total effective depth and df by 2 is the total compressive force acting on the beam for the flange portion. For this figure number 2, again we should have to calculate the moment of resistance for the compression as well as moment of resistance for the tension. I am writing here moment of resistance for the compression 1 equal to moment of resistance for the compression 1 C1 equal to, we are having C2 into lever arm 2 for the compression as well as T2 into lever arm 2. This is having for the tension. Moment of resistance for compression 1 equal to nothing but we are having the value as 0.446 into FCK into BF minus BW into DF. Okay, this is the total compressive force acting on the beam into, we should have to multiply with the lever arm distance. That lever arm distance is nothing but D minus DF divided by 2. D minus DF divided by 2. This is the total compressive force acting on the block. As well as we should have to calculate the total tangential force acting on this beam in the tension direction. That is nothing but moment of resistance for T2 here. Moment of resistance in tension zone equal to again this total tangential force into lever arm distance. That is nothing but 0.87 into Fy into AST to D minus DF by 2. This is the total tangential force acting on this particular beam of the second beam. For this second beam, from this we should have to multiply the total compressive force for total moment of resistance for the particular T beam. That is nothing but total moment of resistance equal to moment of resistance of C1 plus moment of resistance of C2 for the flange T beam, as well as moment of resistance for the tension zone equal to moment of resistance for T1 plus moment of resistance for T2. If you add all these parameters, you will get the entire moment resistance of the section for the T beam. Next we will calculate the next we are having the total moment of capacity for the particular beam. For this total moment of resistance of capacity, again I have written the total concept how it is getting from figure 1. Moment of resistance for the compression 1 C1 equal to C1 into LA1, where C1 is the total compressive force acting on the beam and LA1 is the lever arm for that simple rectangular beam. That is nothing but D minus 0.42 into XU. Again moment of resistance for tension zone, we are having T1 in tension zone. Moment of resistance in tension zone T1 equal to T1 into lever arm A1, where T1 is the total tangential force acting on the beam, LA1 is the distance between the total compressive force and the total tangential force. That means lever arm A1 equal to D minus 0.42 into XU. Again for this figure number 2, for figure number 2 also we have calculated the total compressive force, total tangential force as well as lever arm distance. That lever arm distance is nothing but the resultant of compressive force and the resultant of tangential force. The total compressive force acting at a distance of half of the flange, that is with the depth of the flange we are having DF. In that half the compressive force acting, that is nothing but DF by 2. That is nothing but from figure number 2 we are having the moment of resistance for the total compressive force MOR C2 equal to C2 into lever arm A2. Again moment of resistance for tension zone T2 equal to T2 into lever arm A2. That lever arm A2 equal to we are having D minus DF by 2. From this we have to calculate the total moment of resistance for the entire T beam. For the total entire beam, the moment of resistance in the compression as well as moment of resistance for the tension we have to calculate. Now I am writing here total moment of resistance. Okay, total moment of resistance. Total moment of resistance. The total moment of resistance is nothing but MORC equal to total moment of resistance we are having moment of resistance in compression 1 as well as moment of resistance in compression 2. I am writing here moment of resistance in compression 1 plus as well as moment of resistance in compression 2. From this again moment of resistance in compression 1 equal to C1 into LA1, moment of resistance in compression 2 equal to C2 into LA2. Directly I am writing here the total compressive force acting from the limiting moment of resistance of the beam, that is nothing but 0.36 into FCK into BF into XU, BF into XU. This is the total compressive force, and the lower arm distance we are having the D minus 0.42 into XU, D minus 0.42 into XU. This is the moment of resistance capacity for the limiting moment capacity of this action, that is C1 into L1. Next we are having the moment of resistance for this compressive force of the beam C2, that is nothing but we are having the moment of resistance for compression 2 0.446 into FCK into, sorry, here where BW, okay, sorry, I am writing, we are considering this neutral axis is lies within the web portion. Within the web portion we should have to write this width of the web, not width of the flange. See this always. Okay, next the total compression of C2 equal to stress into area, that is nothing but 0.446 into FCK into BF minus BW into DF into lower arm distance we are having D minus DF by 2. This is the total moment capacity for the entire TB. This total moment of resistance for the compression equal to moment of resistance for C1, moment of resistance for C2. Moment of resistance equal nothing but total compressive force into lower arm distance. Already total compressive force 0.36 into FCK into BW into XU we know. This D minus 0.42 XU also we know. The second force is acting in flange portion. In flange portion, compressive force acting on the concrete, that is nothing but stress of concrete into area of that flange portion. 0.446 into FCK, BF minus BW is the width of the flange, BW we are neglecting, and DF is the depth of the flange, D minus DF by 2. This is the value of the lever arm for the second diagram. As well as we will calculate the total moment of resistance for the tension zone, that is nothing but moment of resistance for the total moment of resistance for the tension zone TO2 equal to nothing but again next we are having the moment of resistance in tension zone T1 plus as well as moment of resistance for tension zone T2. From this we are having the again moment of resistance equal to tangential force into lever arm 1 as well as tangential force into lever arm 2, that is nothing but 0.87 into Fy into AST 1 into lever arm distance we are having D minus 0.42 into XU. Okay, next moment of resistance in tension zone 2 from figure 2 we are having this value as 0.87 into Fy into AST 2. Again lever arm distance we are having D minus DF by 2. This is the moment of resistance calculation for the second beam. From this we have to calculate the depth of the neutral axis, actual depth of the neutral axis, limiting depth of the neutral axis, comparison of the balanced under reinforced and over reinforced section. After that finally we should have to calculate the moment of resistance of the section for the compression as well as for the tension. Okay, I am writing the same design steps here. If you observe here the design procedure or analysis procedure, next I am writing here analysis procedure. Okay, analysis procedure. That analysis procedure, first step 1 you have to calculate the total compressive. Step 1 you should have to calculate the limiting depth of the neutral axis. Step 2 you have to calculate the actual depth of the neutral axis. Step 3 you should have to calculate the comparison of the section. In step 3, step 4 finally we are calculating the moment resistance of the section. Okay, step 1 from this we are calculating the step 1 limiting depth of the neutral axis or XU limit. That XU limit is nothing but K into D, where K equal to 0.53 into D as well as 0.48 into D as well as 0.46 into D. Based on the grade of the steel, the neutral axis depth it will may vary. Next we have to calculate the actual depth of the neutral axis. Step 2 I am writing here actual depth of the neutral axis. Actual depth of neutral axis. Actual depth of the neutral axis, how will get actual depth of the neutral axis, nothing but total compressive force equal to total tangential force. Total compressive force equal to total tangential force. Here the total compressive force are 0.36 into FCK into BW into XU as well as 0.446 into DF minus BW into DF. This is the total compressive force acting for the particular beam, as well as total tangential force we are having 0.87 into Fy into AST1 plus AST2. I am writing here the total compressive force. The total compressive force is nothing but we are having 0.36 into FCK into BW into XU plus 0.446 into FCK into BF minus BW into DF. This is the total compressive force acting on the beam, as well as we are having the total tangential force. The total tangential force equal to 0.87 into Fy into AST. That is from AST1 plus AST2. Directly they will give in the problem total area of the steel. If you calculate the AST1, AST2 will get easily. In problem directly they will give the total area of the steel. From this we have to calculate the actual depth of the neutral axis. That is nothing but the actual depth of the neutral axis equal to XU equal to 0.87 into Fy into AST minus 0.446 into FCK into BF minus BW into DF divided by total force, total stress, that is nothing but 0.36 into FCK into BW, 0.36 into FCK into BW. In step 3 we have to compare the total XU value as well as XU limit value. I am writing here step 3 compare XU and XU limit. Compare XU and XU limit. If you compare the XU and XU limit, you will get either balanced section, will get either under reinforced section, will get either over reinforced section. After comparison of the section, next we have to calculate the moment of resistance of the member in compression direction as well as moment of resistance of the member in the tension direction. That is, this is the next step, moment of step number 4. From the step number 4 we will calculate the moment of resistance for the compression as well as moment of resistance for the tension. The moment of resistance for compression step 4 we are having 0.36 into FCK into BW into XU into D minus 0.42 into XU plus 0.446 into FCK into BF minus BW into DF into D minus DF by 2 for the compression. As well as if you want to calculate for the tension, moment of resistance for tension equal to 0.87 into Fy into AST1 into D minus 0.42 XU plus 0.87 into Fy into AST2 into D minus DF by 2. This is the complete analysis and how we have to calculate the how we have to analyze the problem based on the T-beam when the neutral axis is lies within the web portion as well as when the stress block is uniformly stressed up to the strain of 3/7 of XU. That means the rectangular post is within the uniformly stressed.